Hi, my name is Kenny Schultz, and I'm the developer behind BreederBuddy. In this video, I'll be showing you what BreederBuddy is and how it can help you at a high level in under 5 minutes. So first and foremost, BreederBuddy is an application that will help you, number one, manage your dogs, number two, manage your customers, and number three, manage your day-to-day tasks. So this video will be going through the app at a high level once again, and if you would like a more in-depth look at any particular feature, you could simply click this docs button in the bottom left, which will take you to our documentation page where you could dig into advanced features of your choosing. So with that being said, let's start with dogs. First and foremost, this is your dogs page. From here, you could search and filter and tag all of your dogs. Fairly straightforward. If I want to add a new dog, I could do so by clicking this button up here. And you could give your dog a name, a call name. You could choose a type, and there's 3 types in BreederBuddy. Active breeding dog, which would be your breeding dogs, your sires and dams. Retired, which are dogs that are no longer breeding, and puppies. You could also assign fields like sex, date of birth, color, and more. Everything that you would expect. So if we go into a single dog here, this is what the dog's profile page looks like. And you'll notice in BreederBuddy, every page has what I call these tabs here that kind of organizes the app and everything into its own little neat section. So the first tab here is the details tab. This is, again, all of the dog's attributes. You could also set the dog's parents and the dog's owner from this field, but we'll get more into the customers aspect of the app in a minute. Another feature that is up and coming is the display settings of the dog, which is where you'll actually be able to check this button and the dog will automatically appear on your site, so you don't have to update your website. So to keep things in the interest of staying high level, I'll go through the other tabs briefly. This is the health tab. This is where you can store all of your medical records and set reminders for follow-up events, such as the next time a vaccine is due. This events tab is similar, where it shows those reminders and where you can manage them at a higher level. You could also sync these with your Apple or Google Calendar, so you get reminders directly to your phone. The litters tab shows any litters that this dog has had, in this instance, 1 litter. The weight tab tracks the dog's weight. You could add weights and you could also convert from grams to pounds to ounces, whatever you prefer. The attachments tab is simply put to store attachments for that dog. The pedigree tab is a work in progress, but it'll actually show you the lineage of the dog, its parents, and any offspring that it's had in the past. And the heat cycle tab allows you to track heat cycles of the dog, and it will also give you a smart estimation of when the next estimated heat cycle is going to occur. And this actually is based off of the prior data that you've entered. So you can see here it says based on average cycle length of 184 days, and that'll actually put an event on your calendar 184 days from now and give you a heads up when that heat might be due. So I know I'm moving fast, but again, just go to the docs page if you would like to see more. This is the litters page, and similar to the dogs page, you could search and filter through your litters. So let's go ahead and pick this one for example. And this first tab here is the litter journey tab, and this is kind of a high level overview of where you are at with that litter. So this first section here is the add puppies. That would be the first thing you do to any litter, is give it some puppies. You could track your waitlist deposits. Again, these are demo customers, so you could actually see who's paid the deposit and who has not. You could also track invoices for that particular invoice or for that particular litter, and you could track contracts, who signed what contracts and who still needs to sign a contract. And lastly, you could also schedule pickups for particular customers. Likewise, there's also a details tab on this litter page that tracks the litter's details, just the attributes. The status field here essentially will tell you if this litter is born or completed, and you could also set date bred and date of birth. So that's basically it for the litters page. Again, it has the puppies. I'll cover this too. It has the puppies tab here where you could actually view all the puppies of the litter. And from here, you could easily add weights and edit weights for every single dog. You could give them microchip numbers. And really, so it's like a high level tab where you could just do everything you need to do for that litter and do it all in one place instead of having to click into every single puppy. A cool feature too is you could actually assign color to each of these puppies. So if I want to give this dog a green color, because often they don't have names when they're younger, you could do so. And now that dog will be identified as green throughout the application. It'll have this green border collar around them. So moving on to the attachments page, this will be all of your attachments stored inside the application in case you just wanted to access them directly. And this is the customers page. So this is basically going to be all of your customers, all of your puppy buyers, all stored here. You could filter by owners and non-owners. So those would be people who do not yet own a dog. So if we go ahead and just click on my test account here, you could see this is the customer's profile page where you could see all invoices that they've been sent, all attachments that you've shared with them in case you want to share any health records with them or something like that. You could see any dogs that they own. You could see any contracts that you've sent to them and that they've signed. And you could also see their original submission details if they filled out an application. So moving on to the invoices. This is the invoicing page. This is where I could create invoices to send to customers. And I won't dive into it because it's very detailed, but you could set tax here, tax amounts. You could set create multiple line items, and your customer actually will be able to pay online, pay through Venmo, pay cash, pay check, whatever you prefer, and you could track all that here. This is the contracts page, and from here you could create multiple contracts if you want. So I'll go ahead and click into the service dog agreement contract as an example, and from here I could see the requests I've made to specific puppy buyers to sign this contract, and I could also click this button here to send contracts. And so now to send a contract, I could go ahead and click the send contract to customer button, choose a customer, choose a dog that I want the contract to be associated with, hit save, and that will actually send the contract to the customer to sign online digitally. And you'll also receive a notification when they do sign it. The application field, the application page essentially lets you build your own application form, and you could embed this directly onto your website or just send buyers straight to this page, and it will actually allow them to submit an application as you would expect, and you'll receive a notification when they do. And when you do, you can actually click that email that you get and come into here, and you'll see their submission, and you could review all of their answers, and you could actually convert that submission into a contact. That way your puppy buyer, when they fill out an application, they get directly fed into the app. There's no extra work. There's no copy pasting, nothing like that. So super easy way to intake the customer into the application. And from there, you could instantly drop them onto a waitlist if you wanted to, or send them an invoice or a contract and that kind of thing. So this is the waitlist page. Waitlists allow you to track puppy buyers, track interest, and generally track who's waiting in line. You could link any waitlist to a specific litter, and that way it'll know how many puppies are available in that litter and give you a certain amount of slots depending on how many puppies are in that litter. So just like the dogs, customers, and litters page, you have the details tab, but this entries tab here is the main bulk of the waitlist feature. So you could actually drag and drop your waitlist customers based on picking order, and so on and so forth. So moving on to the next one, this is the email templates page, and from here you can basically customize every single email that the app sends out. So for instance, the application submission receipt is sent out when a puppy buyer submits an application form, and if you wanted to, you could send a custom message within that email in case you wanted to send them additional info or what to expect, so on and so forth. So moving on to the calendar page, this is the calendar page that shows everything you have going on. You can also click this button here in the top. This is the daily check-in that you'll get every single time you log in for the day, and this will actually show you today's events, the events that are past due, and upcoming events. And for every event, you can actually mark it as done, and that allows you to also create a health record. If, for instance, that event was a vaccination and you wanted to create a health record, you could do so, and that health record would be generated directly onto the dog. So super easy way to track health records and set repeat reminders and follow-ups for health records, for instance. You could also sync this with your Apple or Google phone or Microsoft, whatever you use. So that's a cool part about it too. This is the care schedules page, and from here you could create schedules that are basically a predefined series of reminders. So for instance, this pregnancy progesterone check has a day 0 in heat event. That would be the day that the dog goes into heat and that you made it. And day 3 would be when you would begin progesterone testing. And then day 10 would be the end of ovulation. So you could essentially come into the schedule here and apply it to a dog. And you could choose any start date you want. And from that date, those events will be created. And you'll receive reminders at the appropriate times. So 0, 3, and 10 days in advance in this particular case. So lastly is the tools and analytics section. So this is the litter planner. This is actually how you can track all heat cycles side by side of all your active breeding females. You can also see their active pregnancies, and you can see their estimated heats in the future. And this is a cool way for you to essentially see all your females' heat cycles side by side and plan based on that. For instance, if you have 3 heat cycles all happening at the same time, you might choose to pass on breeding one of those females so that you don't have 3 litters of puppies at a time. The pedigree viewer is essentially your entire breeding program, cascading by lineage, so you get to see everything branching down, kind of like a big family tree. And lastly, the public display section is something I mentioned earlier. This will be a page where you could essentially feature all of your breeding dogs, upcoming litters, and puppies on your website directly. And so that way you could just update them, publish them from the app here, and instantly they'll be live or not live on your website. So yeah, so that's basically it. That was a lot longer than 5 minutes, but I hope that helped. And for more specific videos, you could go to the Docs tab here, and this will bring you to the documentation page, or you could click this blue button here to reach out to me directly with your questions. I'll be happy to chat with you, or we could do a demo. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy.